Welcome to another explainer. So, I want you to imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, you rub the sleep from your eyes, and you open your front door. But instead of seeing your familiar street, your neighbors, or even the earth as you know it, you are instantly greeted by a giant red desert, just stretching for miles in every single direction. No trees, no oceans, no birds. Literally, just Mars. It's this cold, mysterious planet located millions upon millions of miles away from us. Now, for the longest time, this scenario sounded purely like science fiction, right? Something straight out of a movie or a comic book, but not anymore. Scientists and some really brilliant minds at various space companies are actively working right now to turn this science fiction into our actual reality. They are planning to send humans to Mars, but could people actually live there? And what would life on Mars really look like? Let's find out.
Section 1. The next great challenge.
For thousands of years, we've looked up and wondered. We've crossed vast oceans, climbed the highest mountains, explored entirely new continents, and eventually, we achieved the impossible and landed on the moon. But Mars is an entirely different beast. The red planet is, on average, a staggering 225 million kilometers away from Earth. To put that into perspective, that massive distance means that even if we launched our absolute fastest, most advanced spacecraft right now, it would still take several months just to reach it. It's a journey unlike any we've ever attempted. So, why are scientists so interested? Well, because out of all the planets in our solar system, Mars might just be the very best place for humans to build a future home.
Section 2. Welcome to Mars. Let's dive in and imagine those first impressions, because there is a stark contrast between our familiar home and our potential new one. On Earth, we're completely used to a beautiful blue sky and 100% gravity keeping our feet firmly planted on the ground. But on Mars, the sky actually appears reddish and it's constantly dusty. And the gravity? It sits at just 38% of Earth's gravity. Imagine jumping in 38% gravity. You would bounce way higher and float down much slower than you ever could on Earth. Carrying heavy equipment, building materials, or even just another person would become an absolute breeze. Sounds kind of fun, doesn't it?
Section 3. Surviving the Red Planet.
Fun gravity aside, life there wouldn't be easy. We actually have 4 major hurdles to overcome right from day one: breathing, water, food, and radiation. Let's start with the most immediate hurdle, which is breathing. The Martian atmosphere is overwhelmingly composed of carbon dioxide. And humans, as we well know, strictly need oxygen. Without a specialized, pressurized spacesuit, a person simply couldn't survive. That means our future Mars colonies are going to need highly advanced, incredibly reliable systems constantly working to create breathable air.
Next up is water. Every single human being needs water to survive. But here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. We're going to need to rely on Martian water extraction. That's the technological process of mining and purifying the frozen ice that scientists have actually already discovered on the planet. If future technology can successfully extract and purify that ice, it could completely sustain these human settlements. It will act as the absolute lifeline for any Martian colony.
But water is only part of the puzzle. We also need food. And let's be super clear about this. On Mars, there are no supermarkets, there are no restaurants. And there's absolutely zero pizza delivery. You can't just run out to grab a quick bite, at least not yet. So, how do we eat? Well, future astronauts are basically going to have to become space farmers. We're talking about growing tomatoes, potatoes, and lettuce inside highly controlled futuristic Martian greenhouses under glowing artificial lights. Every single calorie you consume will have to be carefully cultivated entirely on another planet.
Okay, so our fourth major hurdle is radiation. Earth has this wonderful protective magnetic field that basically acts like a massive invisible shield, completely protecting us from harmful space radiation. Mars, it has an unshielded surface. It actually lost its magnetic field billions of years ago. This invisible danger means that future homes simply can't look like our houses on Earth. They might need to be built deep underground or heavily covered in dense protective materials to prevent dangerous long-term radiation exposure.
Section 4. Life as a Martian. Let's shift gears and imagine your average Tuesday on Mars. You wake up inside your high-tech habitat, you check the forecast, but not for rain. You're checking for massive planet-covering dust storms. When the storm clears and you head off to work, you'll be joining a highly specialized team. We're talking scientists, engineers, doctors, life support technicians. Every single person in a Martian colony will play a totally vital role. You aren't just doing a 9-to-5 job. You are literally keeping your friends and colleagues alive. On Mars, survival is 100% dependent on perfect teamwork among these specialists. If one system fails, everybody has to step up to fix it.
And here is a thought that is just completely mind-blowing. Children born on Mars might experience life very differently from people born on Earth. Just imagine the very first generation of true Martians. These would be humans growing up knowing only that lower 38% gravity, adapting to completely artificial indoor environments, and looking up at a red, dusty sky every day. They would develop a completely new perspective on what it even means to be human. Watching that first Martian generation grow up, that would undoubtedly be one of the most profound milestones in all of human history.
Section 5. Humanity's Backup Home.
Now you might be wondering, why go to Mars at all? Why go through all this trouble instead of just staying right here on Earth? Well, think about it. Civilizations have continuously faced catastrophic threats, major wars, global pandemics, massive natural catastrophes. These aren't just isolated one-off events. They are recurring themes in our planet's history. By putting all of our eggs in one basket, Earth, we leave ourselves inherently vulnerable. Living on multiple planets drastically increases our chances of long-term survival against any extinction-level event.
And this brings us to a critically important concept, becoming a multi-planet species. This basically means a civilization expands beyond its home planet to create a backup home to protect the future of its species. To put it in really simple words, Mars could become humanity's ultimate insurance policy. If something irreversible happens to our beautiful blue planet, humanity, our history, and our consciousness would still carry on.
So how does this all fit into our actual timeline? Will humans actually live on Mars? The answer is very likely yes, but it's not happening tomorrow, and it definitely won't be easy. Making it happen requires incredible technology, massive financial investments, and years of relentless scientific progress. Building a city on Mars requires a massive step-by-step technological leap. The first settlers are absolutely going to face physical and psychological challenges unlike anything humans have ever experienced. But never forget this core truth. Every great achievement once seemed completely impossible. Flying across the ocean in a metal machine? Once impossible. Landing a human safely on the surface of the moon? Once thought to be a total pipe dream. Building a global internet that connects billions of people instantly? Unimaginable just a century ago. At one point, people thought those things could never, ever happen. Yet here we are. Our journey to Mars is really just beginning. And maybe one day, future generations will look back at us and say, those were the people who began humanity's journey to the stars.
So, I want to leave you with a monumental choice to think about today. Ask yourself honestly, would you move to Mars if you had the chance, knowing all the risks, the immense challenges, and the incredible adventure? Or would you prefer to stay right here on Earth? It's a pretty incredible question to ponder. Let me know what you would choose down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this explainer, make sure to subscribe so we can continue to explore more of humanity's fascinating future together. Thanks for joining me, and keep looking up.